Hi everyone, I wanted to do another postcom as it's been a while since I did my last one. I've just set a new world record for Kanto Champion Autoclicker. This is the codeless category. As you can see, I'm starting with the spoiler at the end, but 15.05.677. It was a very good run, very lucky in the captures. Sub 15 is definitely possible. I think in terms of improvements that can be made, you'll see it as we go through, but I'll go back to the beginning, talk through what the new strategies are. There's been a few little improvements since the last time I did postcom, so I'll talk through those changes. Obviously we're going for Kanto Champ, and I choose Bulbasaur as normal. Set my battle items up to 1,000, so that way whenever I select a battle item, it will use all the ones I've collected. Basically now, if I don't get Pidgeotto in my first two, then I just reset the run. So there's my little minor change that I should have made. Instead of going to 22, I now go straight to 2 and I route dance until I get both the Nidorans, the Spearow and the Mankey. The old run would be that you stay on 22 until you get the Spearow and the Mankey, and then you go up to Route 2, but I learnt the route dancing technique. I beat the 10 Pokemon that you need for Route 2, and then I went down to pick up the missing Nidoran and the Mankey on here. So this is definitely not optimal. It's definitely a late getting into Viridian Forest. You can get into Viridian sub 40 definitely, but Viridian was very quick. You'll see that I get the Caterpie and the Weedle relatively quick into Viridian. Again, if I don't get both Weedle and Caterpie now in Viridian, then I just restart and go straight back to the beginning, just because it messes up your flow in terms of when you get the Amulet Coin Oak item. So yeah, taking down Brock. Sub 110 is very good for Brock. Picking up the Sandshrew and the 75 tokens that I need to get into Mount Moon and clear Mount Moon. And then I'll drop down to Route 22 to clear out the 10 Pokemon, as I had a couple of runs recently where I get to Viridian, clear the gym, and then expect Route 23 to light up, but found out that I hadn't actually cleared 22 just yet. So as I'm here, might as well check, make sure I get it done. Go down to 1 until I get to my normal 2300 coins, which are then used to buy 11 Pokeballs and 3 X-Clicks. The changes that they made to the shop makes the buying segments a lot quicker now. So what the use happen is you have to click the max and the buy buttons, but now you can use M and B on your hotkeys, which makes most of the buying segments definitely slightly quicker, and most of them can be done pretty instantaneously, especially with using Escape. So yeah, get the Pokeball during Mount Moon, which is pretty normal. I would say like this is a decent run up until this point. I definitely was hovering around the point of maybe I should just restart this one, as I've had runs where I've been out of Mount Moon with all the Pokemon, including the Pikachu, sub 210. Yeah, but I stuck with it. This was probably my third or fourth run of the day, so I wanted to get into the late game to get some practice into it. As sometimes you can be on like a really good pace and really good run, and then you'll mess up something in the late game because you just haven't got to it all day. So I'm route dancing here. It's one of the few times on the run where I think that route dancing is quite powerful. When you're taking down from the average of about 1,600 to under 1,000, it really helps. So here I'm just checking to see how many pokes I need left on to get the Amulet Coin, which I'm then going to switch over to for the next Brock smashing segment. I think one of the reasons why this run was so fast is you'll see as I have rain pretty much throughout the run. And if you ever look at your damage calculator, you'll see that most of your damage will come through water, especially in the later part of the game. You know, when you get the Super Rod and then you get Magikarp, Poliwag, Goldeen, Psyduck, Krabby, Tentacle, Horsey, Slowpoke, and then obviously all the evolved ones as well. So I'll pause it quickly here just because I've changed what I do on this buying segment. So it used to be that I would run Brock until I get 1603, 6,300, but now I run it until I just get a flat 6,000, and the reason for that is because I figure that you don't really need 8 X-Clicks for the next segment. You can pretty much consistently get through with 7, so it's slightly quicker. You don't have to do block, like it's one off of Brock that you don't need to do, and I think that's where I start to pick up speed on my previous splits. So you'll see I'm running out block now with the Amulet Coin. I'm going to keep the Amulet Coin on while I go through Misty as well. Realise I just got one left, back down to Viridian, and I buy my 31 Pokeballs and my 7 X clicks. Go on to Misty, activate the caught Pokeball again so I can pick up the dungeon tokens that I need for the next segment. And this is where I noticed I was getting really lucky with my captures. Usually I have to defeat all 10 of these Pokemon with the captures to be able to get up to the 580 that you need to be able to do Diglett Tunnel and Rock Tunnel. But yeah, I got quite lucky in terms of not having to see the little Pokeball and fail captures. This Route 9 was definitely slow. It can be improved on this because I failed so many Drowsies. So there's one. It's 2 failed Drowsies. 3 failed Drowsies. 4. And at this point I'm just slamming it until I get it. 5. So there's 5. So even if nothing else gets improved, if instead of 5 captures on here, so it takes me 6 in total, I do it in 1, then that's 5 seconds back. So that's how I know that sub 15 is definitely possible. So in Rock Tunnel, I'm just doing my normal thing. I've already got Geodude and Zubat, so I don't have to worry about that. I've also stopped worrying so much about making sure that I get all of the Pokemon. Obviously there are some there, it's like, yeah, up until this point, it's really good to make sure that you have them, but I used to be really vigilant with making sure that I had absolutely everything. It just turned out in this run that I just didn't need to worry about going back for much else because I was just getting lucky and getting all the captures I needed as and when I needed them. Turned on the court again here to get up to the 680 dungeon tokens. So the reason why I aim for 680 is because I know on Route 8 and 7 I need to pick up a Vulpix and I'll get at least 70 dungeon tokens on that, and that will get me the 750 I need for Pokemon Tower. I'm route dancing here just to get me slightly lower HP. I don't route dance on, well, so on 8 what I'm doing is I'm checking to make sure that the Pokemon isn't Vulpix. If it is Vulpix then I try not to dance, but sometimes my fingers will do it anyway. So I've realised here that I've got up to the 690, so I've turned off the already caught. And luckily, first time Vulpix. Vulpix is tough for me. Like, I sometimes will clear the 10 Pokemon I need on Route 7 without any Vulpix. So, and I notice I go over on my captures there. There's at least three more Pokemon defeated that I needed. So I need to be more careful of that in the future. So I've changed over to the Poison Barb here just to make getting through 7 and Erica a little bit quicker. And this is why I think you definitely don't need 8 X clicks when you go before the Misty shopping, because you'll see that my timings, like I think the run's at a point where if you need 8, you're already too slow. So you should just stick with 7. I'll switch over from the Poison Barb onto the Amulet Coin in a second. So I get a little bit of extra money from being Erica. I don't know if it makes too much of a difference. It's just something that I've always done where I think this makes it easier. So I picked up some Great Balls there, failed at moving on to the Capture Ball. And then in a minute I'm going to remember to change my new Pokemon up to a Great Ball or Ultra Ball, and then I'll put the new shinies up to Great Ball. I do that just because if I do pick up Ultra Balls, I haven't got to change that again in the future. And that way I can also keep an eye on how many Great Balls I actually have left. Get the Poison Barb on the second item. I think I captured the Marowak as well. That's what I mean, like I just got lucky with captures in this run. On Route 12 you pretty much just, you either want to encounter Snorlax and Farfetch'd and capture them, or don't encounter them at all. Luckily, I do get Farfetch'd, but I get it later in the run, so I can counter. That's 2 there, 3 failed ones. So, on to the fishing expedition. So, first time on Magikarp, second on Goldeen, and the first time on Poliwag. And then I get a very quick Krabby. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but like Krabby just seems to be something that I struggle with. I pick up the Goldeen rather than the Golduck rather than the Psyduck, so that's good enough for me. I'm happy to go down to 13 and start on the token collecting here and clearing out the 30 Pokemon that you need to unlock Fuchsia. I'm route dancing here to generate different Pokemon that everyone's already caught, or at least that's what I was trying to do, but at this time I realised I was on a good time, so I got a bit nervous, and you'll see that there are some Pokemon where I haven't caught it and I'll still dance on. So like there, I swap out a Horsey for a Seadra, which happened to work for me quite well because I caught the Seadra. But yeah, I should have stayed on that Horsey there rather than flitching onto the Pidgeotto. Luckily on 14, you've already caught all the Pokemon on 14 that you need by this point, so you can pretty much dance on every time. And you know, sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll pull through a Tentacool or a Slowpoke that you haven't got, or a Horsey, which I just did there. And a Tentacool, but I don't think I catch this Tentacool. So this is where I'll notice that my attack is definitely going to ramp up. That little boost that you get on the rain really helps. So I ran out of Pokeballs, but I still had some of the token collector left here, so that's why I decided to go and do a little ad hoc shopping. It's not optimal. Definitely shouldn't have done that. I should have, I don't know, maybe grinded Route 11 to get a few more Pokeballs to be able to buy Pokeballs when I bought the tokens, but I don't think it loses that much time, so it's good. I'm on a very high token level at this point as well. Basically, you need 3,500 to be able to complete the game from this point because you're only going to go through the mansion and through Victory Road once. You need 2,000 for Victory Road and 1,500 for mansion. Swip over to the amulet coin just so I can get some extra gold when I'm going through the gym sweep of Saffron, Vermilion and Fuchsia. And then normally at this point I have the decision to make, and like, do I want to go for Ultra Balls to guarantee that I capture the Pokemon that I don't already have, or do I go for Great Balls? And I went for Great Balls, and I don't know if that was optimal. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the end because I was able to get the Pokemon that I needed anyway, so. But I might look at the math on whether or not you're better off going for Ultra Balls at that point. I think if I still had some Great Balls in the back, then I probably wouldn't have. Like, sometimes you go through 13, 14, 15, and you'll still have, like, 8 Great Balls left, but it wasn't to be at this point. Let's move my hatchery out of the way there. So yeah, very high token level here, 3,300. So I only need 2 catches in the Pokemon Mansion to be able to bring that up to 3,500 that you need. So after I defeat the 10 here, all I'm thinking in Pokemon Mansion is, okay, I'm just going to get 2 catches and then I'm going to go for the boss. I get a very quick uncovering of the boss. Capture this coffin here, great. Yeah, this trainer. I'm hoping for a Growlithe at this point or a Grimer just so I can guarantee the extra mons. I get a Weezing capture and then face another extra one, so I was pretty happy with that. I mean, it's not optimal to get Coffin and Weezing, but it's still pretty good. And then I get very lucky here and I capture the Magmar. So at this point I realise, oh, I definitely don't have to do any additional grinding. I don't have to worry about XP. I don't have to worry about anything. It's at this point, it's just, can I get through Victory Road without encountering the 5 trainers of death? Can I get through that as quickly as possible and not mess up on anything else? And also the other thing that I'm really thinking about at this point is make sure that you do the shopping after Viridian Gym, after you beat Giovanni, because I've definitely done that before, and I'll be in Victory Road with no X-clicks, no X-attacks. That goes right on. By my 11 X-attacks, and then I just hit max on the X-clicks. It's the last of the shopping, don't have to worry about that. I've got my experience share and my poison barb, so I don't need to do any more changes now. I don't need to capture anything else. I just don't need to grind anything else. It's just purely get through Victory Road as quickly as possible. I am going to go for chest strats. Like, at this point, I'm just thinking I'm definitely going for chest. Like, if I get the option, I'm definitely going for chest. Like, even if it gives me a relatively slow Motros, like I'm counting it out in my head and I'm thinking, yeah, I should definitely be on time, even if I get the slowest Moltres. So, Onyx. I think when you go into Victory Road, if you know that you're at the level that you should, I should have turned my new captures off, because it's like you can counter Onyx and Moltres, but so not the best Victory Road boss, but not the worst. The 2 trainers are fine, like relatively quick. It's not Machop, which is it's Machoke, isn't it? Which is the best one to get because there's just one wild Pokemon you can easily bash for it. It's not the worst. And I get 2 experience eggs, 2 lucky eggs, which I don't think really played out in terms of being able to beat Blue. but certainly didn't hurt. I realised at this point I didn't get Snorlax, so as long as my attack gets above or as close to 4,000, the Pokemon attack is usually what I judge it on for, and I get to blue, I know that I'm fine in terms of not having to worry about extra grinding to be able to beat blue. But yeah, it's at this point you realise just how amazing Slowbro is as well. Like, you catch it so late in the run and it's already a second best Pokemon. It's also why I like to get the Drowsy early as well, because Hypno does work, is really good. But yeah, at this point, like, I'm counting out, you know, even if they take 30 seconds on each of these in the Elite Four, I should be beating my previous best. The previous world record was 1550. And Codeless is now down to the 12-minute mark as well. Oh, sorry, the coded. There's a Mewtwo save with the coded on the Speedrun website that you can download. Give that run a good chance at yourself. So yeah, Lance goes down, loads of time to spare, not panicking. Sometimes I try and force the next Elite Four battle before you clear off the little text box that pops up. You can do so by like mashing 5 or 4, depending on who you need to go into next. I decided not to do that because there's a chance that you can miss out on clicks while you've got the text box that's up. But yeah, absolutely obliterate Charizard with 5 seconds to spare. And there you go. 1505. Very good run. Very happy with that. Like I said, it's definitely beatable. The Drowsy debacle with 5 failed captures. So yeah, that could definitely be done quicker. You can get to Brock. Like, the Brock split's really good. You can definitely do Misty a bit quicker. I think you can definitely get out of Mount Moon quicker than what I did. Onto the Rainbow Badge as well. Like, the record that I had before this with Rainbow was 634. So I think in general, like, 630 is definitely possible with Rainbow before Rainbow Split. But the period, the time where I got the world record was between Pokemon Tower and going to Sabrina. I got very quick captures on Poliwag, Magikarp, and I think I only had 2 captures on Goldeen, a very quick Krabby, a very quick Golduck, and then, you know, pretty good captures on 12 and 13 as well, with picking up a Slowbro and a Seadra. And then, yeah, everything was pretty optimal in terms of getting the dungeon tokens that I needed. You know, I finished on 380 above, so even that could have been better. But yeah, I'm very happy with that run. It can definitely be beaten. If at any point you'd like to ask me some questions, I'm on Discord. You should be able to find it through the Speedrun website. You know, come hunt me down and I'll happily talk through any questions that you have on it, and be good to get some more people on the run. So yeah, thanks.